Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the June DC meeting. For the benefit of members, sorry, I've got to read it from here. For the benefit of members of the public watching or participating in this meeting, I would like to explain who everyone is. My name is Councillor Tony Durrant and I'm the chair of this committee. To my right are the councillors who will be making the decisions on the applications on this evening's agenda. To my immediate right and left are officers who will be presenting the applications and providing advice to the committee. Development Control Committee is a regulatory committee and not a political meeting. The committee will be considering the published papers and examining the evidence brought before us tonight and will make decisions based on planning reasons. We are guided by national and local planning policy and guidance. At the appropriate time, I will invite speakers to contribute to the meeting in the order set out on the update paper. May I ask all speakers, including visiting members, to speak clearly and to keep points made in the application to material reasons only. No further dialogue between members and the committee and speakers will be permitted once questioning is finished. All speakers will be reminded of their permitted speaking time and will be advised when they have 1 minute remaining. May I ask all committee members to avoid repetition and to keep any comments on each planning application to a maximum of 4 minutes. This evening we have 3 items to consider on the agenda and we anticipate being finished by 9 o'clock-ish. I understand that planning can be emotive and ask that everyone remains polite and professional throughout the meeting. Thank you very much. So we can move to the agenda and we have item 1, which is apologies for absence and substitution. We have apologies from Councillor Ganesh and the substitution with Councillor Perry, so welcome to DC. The second item on the agenda is to appoint a vice chair. So we will take nominations. Councillor McCormick.
I propose Councillor Freeman.
Do I have a seconder? Oh, Councillor Hussey. Sorry, you're so popular. Any other nominations? Okay, we will take a vote then. All those in favour? Looks unanimous to me. Welcome back. You may take your seat and bring your nameplate with you. Do we have any declarations of interest? No? Okay, thank you. Sorry, there are no urgent matters, item 4. So item 5 is the minutes of the meeting held on the 20th of May, and I will move that those minutes are a correct record. Do I have a seconder? Oh, I'm going to give it to Councillor Freeman. All those in favour? Thank you. Okay, right, we now move to item 6 on the agenda, which are the planning applications. On the agenda there were 2 additional items to those we're going to review this evening. Those have been withdrawn, so we only have items 3, 4 and 5 this evening to discuss. So we will start with agenda item 3. And the officer will introduce.
Thank you, Chair. This application is for a technical details consent in respect of direction of 1 number dwelling in accordance with the permission and principle at Plantation Cottage, Westridge, Highclere. The proposal is for a 2-storey dwelling located to the northwestern side of Westridge. The proposal is to use an existing access. There are no buildings or other external structures proposed as part of the application. It is considered that the proposal will respect the character of the application site and the wider area and would not cause any harm to the national landscape. The proposal would not cause any other harms or any other unacceptable impacts as per the officer's report. There are no updates for this application. The proposal is recommended for approval subject to legal agreement and conditions as per the main paper.
Thank you. There are no speakers for this item, so we can move to questions for officers. Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Chair. Just something I noticed, that reasons for committee determination. It's one I always like to look at. Due to the number of comments received in objection to the proposal and the officer's recommendation for approval. On page 135, we have one objection from a parish council. We normally publish the others in here so we can get an idea of the other objections. I don't see them in the report. I'm prepared to be corrected on that, but I couldn't see it.
The other objections are paragraph 7.1, page 134 of the report. There's a box with 3 letters were received objecting to the application and numbered 1 to 10.
Thank you. Yeah, because they were tabulated at one time. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Any further questions? No? Okay, thank you. We can move to debate. Anybody like to kick us off? Councillor.
We love bits, don't we? Most of the heavy lifting on this has been done with the permission in principle of development. I can't see any reason to refuse it. Having looked at the drawings, it looks like a reasonably good application. So on that basis, I'll move the recommendation.
Does anybody wish to make any other points? Councillor Jones.
Yes, it's about it. But obviously, highways haven't highlighted it, so it can't be a problem. But certainly, the position of the access on that bend in the road doesn't seem ideal. But if highways have accepted it, that's.
Anyone else? Okay, we have a motion to approve the recommendation. All those in favour? Unanimous. Right, we can now move. Sorry, officer, to confirm.
The application is approved subject to the legal agreement and conditions as per the main paper.
Thank you. We can move to item 4, which is item 4, which the officer will introduce.
Thanks again, Chair. This application is at Parkview House, Church Lane, Highclere, and this for a variation to Condition 1 of an extant plan permission for proposed dormers in place of the previously approved roof lights. This is intended to make better use of the existing second floor loft space and include ancillary rooms. As mentioned, the proposal is just for replacement of roof lights to the approved scheme to both the front and rear elevations. There are no other proposed external alterations. There are no proposed changes to the siting of the dwelling. The dwelling is located approximately 14 metres from the boundary with the adjacent property to the south-west Parkview House and 42 metres from Parkview House itself. The proposal is not considered to have any detrimental impact upon the character of the area or upon amenities of the surrounding residential properties. There are no updates on this application. The proposal is recommended for approval, subject to conditions as per the main paper.
Thank you. We have one speaker in support. It's Mr. Philip Lewis. If you'd like to come down to the seats in front of you and take the first seat on your right. What's on your right? Sorry, the first seat. Back one. That one. Sorry. I'm not a good navigator. When you press the button on the right, the red light will come on. You will have 4 minutes, and I will give you a reminder with 1 minute to go.
Thank you. May I start? Okay, thank you. Thank you. This application is a small change. We have full planning consent to build the house. We're asking only to replace the approved Velux roof lights at the front and rear with dormer windows. Nothing else about the house changes. I'd like to address the objection about overlooking because I think there's been a genuine misunderstanding. First, the window and the dormers sit exactly in the same place as the Velux roof lights, which are already approved. The view from that part of the roof has already been granted. A dormer does not create a new view, it just changes the shape of the window frame around it. Second, the dormers are to the front and rear. They don't face Parkview House, which, as mentioned, sits 42 metres to the side to our house, which has mature landscaping in between. From a very oblique angle, a small part of the bottom of Parkview House garden is visible. And third, directly below the dormers are first floor bedroom windows already approved, already being built, already look in the same direction. There is no view of Parkview House itself or its immediate patio area, and there will be no such view from the new dormers either. The officer's report sets this out and a number of other points very clearly. One final point. The dormers give the loft rooms better light and ventilation. Habitable loft rooms themselves are allowed under permitted development, so we felt it more practical to include them properly now as part of the approved scheme rather than create them separately later. We're asking you to support the officer's clear recommendation for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. If you'd like to stay seated, are there any questions? Councillor Jones.
I can't find it at the moment. I rather thought that it said somewhere in the papers that it increased the numbers of bedrooms by one, and in fact possibly the number of vehicles. Am I correct, or was that already in?
The number of bedrooms already there, to my knowledge, no, there hasn't changed anything from that point of view as far as I know.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. If you'd like to return to your seat, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can move to questions to officers. Councillor McCormick.
Have we got a picture of the property at its former state? Because I don't think we got any in the papers. Okay.
No, Councillor McCormick. Do you have any supplementary question?
No, thanks.
No. Okay. Anyone else? Thank you very much. We can move to debate.
Thank you, Chair. I think this is a minor amendment to the original approval. And I think we've heard the arguments both from the applicant and from what is mentioned in the report. I see there's no real reason for objection here, and I'm prepared to move the officer's recommendation.
Have a seconder? Councillor Freeman. Any? Okay. Thank you very much. Sum up.
The application is approved, subject to the conditions listed in the main paper. This is a submission to discharge requirements of a Section 106 agreement to remove the restriction requiring the barn and yard and mill house to remain in the same ownership and occupation. The Planning permission was granted in May 1992 for the erection of a new dwelling alongside listed building consent for the refurbishment of the adjacent listed barn. This permission was subject to a Section 106 legal agreement which restricted the separate use and ownership of the listed barn and required certain works to be completed prior to the occupation of the associated dwelling. This permission was implemented. It would appear from a review of the 1992 application that this restriction was secured to exert some control over the future use of the building and to prevent the barn from being used for new or more intensive commercial uses that could potentially result in higher traffic flow and associated impacts. National guidance allows planning obligations to be renegotiated where circumstances have changed or where they no longer serve a useful purpose. In this case, a recent planning permission has been granted for the conversion of the listed barn to a dwelling. This represents a material change in circumstances as the approved residential use removes the potential for more intensive commercial activity and associated traffic which the original agreement sought to prevent. The elements of the agreement relating to the completion of the works to the listed barn have already been fulfilled. Retaining the agreement could now potentially unnecessarily restrict the independent occupation of the barn and could hinder the delivery of an additional dwelling. On this application, there are no updates as per the update paper. However, there's one verbal update to the recommendation as follows to ensure that the proposed mechanism for discharging the obligation is included correctly. It is recommended that the application be approved and the existing legal agreement be discharged by way of deed of discharge.
Thank you. We have one speaker for this item. Andrew Clems? No? Right, we don't have any speakers. Questions for officers?
Thank you, Chair. I'm just looking at section 2.3, last paragraph. It says here, this represents a material change in circumstances as the approved residential use removes the potential for more intense commercial activity. Could you explain that one, please?
Sorry, Councillor, I just struggled to get the page. Could you repeat the question, please?
Thank you. So yeah, I think the point is that when the original planning permission was granted, because there, I guess, was some doubt as to what that use of that barn might be in future, that was the original reason for the agreement and the restriction being in place. Now that there's certainty, I guess, in terms of what it's going to be used for, because it's already been granted to be converted as a dwelling, that original doubt, if you like, and uncertainty has been removed, and therefore the sort of potential for an intensive use, i.e. a commercial use, I guess was the original thought process, is no longer there.
So what we're saying is this, agreeing to this, will open the door for more commercial activity? Question mark?
No, what we're saying is that the original 106 was trying to avoid a scenario whereby the building could be taken as separate ownership and used in a different way. Now that that's been confirmed with a new chapter in the planning history, if you like, through the approval of the residential use and the conversion to the dwelling, that concern no longer exists.
Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. We will move to debate. Councillor Miller.
Interesting one, this. Thank you, Chair. I had questions. When I started to read it, I'm not criticising the report at all, but I read it completely because it actually grows on you as you go through the report and the details of the report, and actually everything starts to make a bit of sense. Because in the end, you understand that the whole 106 is going to be discharged because of the component parts of the S106, which I found personally, I couldn't make, it wasn't that clear at the beginning in the summary report. But quite honestly, I quite agree with the summation at the end of this report. I have no difficulty at all with this. Now that I've got the right picture of my head, it was just a comment that I'm making that's the importance of reading reports. It's as simple as that. But I don't know, are we looking for a motion on this one? Well, I'm prepared to accept the officer's recommendation on this, unless anybody else has got anything to say. Okay. I just pass that on for comment. Okay. Yes, it was.
Do we have a second?
It's self-evident.
Councillor Grassi. Does anybody else wish to speak? Okay, we will move to vote. All those in favour? It's unanimous. Officer to sum up.
This application is approved as per the verbal update and main paper.
We have no reason to exclude the press or public, and we have no confidential exempt items, so I declare this meeting closed at, where are we? 7:50? 6:50, sorry. Can't read.